I've tested the all-electric Volvo C40 Recharge before. Nice car. This one is different, and it might work better for your needs. And it's less expensive. In my last encounter with the Volvo C40 Recharge, I came away impressed with its comfort, utility, and overall Volvo-ness. Pricing? A little steep. That was a dual-motor all-wheel drive unit. The vehicle that I'm driving this time has something Volvo hasn't offered in the US for some 25 years: rear-wheel drive. This is a single-motor C40. The same powertrain can also be had with the XC40 and its more traditional SUV roofline. These two will be getting new names soon. C40 becomes EC40, XC40 will be known as EX40. But I digress. There are cases where less is more, and that certainly applies here. For starters, the single-motor C40 Recharge is less expensive, not by much, $1,750, but everything helps, right? Also, this is more efficient. The EPA rates its range at 297 miles. That's 40 more than the dual-motor Recharge. And also, this juices up faster at DC fast chargers. Pricing begins at just under 55 grand with delivery from the factory in Belgium. Upgrade to the Plus, about 2 grand more, and it adds air purification and a surround view camera system. This is a fully loaded Ultimate C40, loading on the good stuff like punchy Harman Kardon sound, pilot assist semi-autonomous driving tech, and upgraded pixel technology headlamps. MSRP is $60,345. Now, without explaining the myriad of tax credits and incentives possibly available, Acura ZDX, Audi Q4 e-tron, Cadillac Lyriq, Genesis GV60, Lexus RZ300, and Tesla Model Y can be had for the same, oftentimes less. The rear motor in all 2024 models gets a boost from 2023 Recharges. It puts out 248 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Max charge rate rises to 200 kilowatts for rear drivers. All-wheel drive C40s remain at 150. C40 Recharge doesn't have push-button starts or a key that you turn to fire it up. This is one of those cars that when you sit in it, it's on. This can get a little wonky if you're often in and out of the car since some of the settings reset themselves. The Ultimate's unique Orpheus crystal knob controls a single-speed transmission. There's a one-pedal driving mode and an off-road mode, yes, even for the rear drive model. These are one too many pages deep in the menu for my liking. This doesn't have a front motor. Is there more room in the front? Is there a bigger frunk? No, there's not. It's the same size. This is enough room for the supplied dual voltage charge cord and a stinky gym bag. The 82 kilowatt-hour battery, 79 usable in Volvo CMA architecture, isn't the usual flat skateboard configuration. Packaging of the cells and other equipment means components fill a spine down the middle of the cabin, including the back seat area. The dual-motor C40 is definitely quicker. It'll spool up to 60 miles an hour in under 5 seconds easily. This one takes around 7, which is going to disappoint some. But really, how fast do you need to go? That is plenty quick enough for many drivers. And, EVs have low-end torque, so especially in the city, it feels faster than it is. I was able to drive this back-to-back with the dual-motor version, and yes, you can tell the difference when it comes to velocity. Test drive both, see which one works for you. Clearly, enthusiasts will want the extra power. Folks in northern climates will appreciate the added grip of the twin-motor version that warmer areas don't need as much. Towing isn't affected. All models are rated at 2,000 pounds. The vehicle itself weighs 4,500 pounds. Volvo claims the heft of the battery and motors distributes the weight more evenly, improving the traction of the rear wheels when compared with front-engined gas-powered cars. Other than having less velocity, the driving dynamics between the dual and single motor are about the same. The suspension is on the firm side. Hit a big bump and it kind of bounces over those. Hit broken pavement and it chatters over that. But overall, this is a comfortable vehicle. Steering effort is on the lighter side with a small amount of road feel. It's possible to kick the tail out ever so slightly before the stability control does its Volvo safety thing. I found much the same dynamic in the twin motor setup. My video with that version is much more in depth, so check it out for a deeper dive. When I tested the dual motor version, I saw around 200 miles of range. EVs are affected by the cold. It was around 45 degrees. Temperatures are about the same, and with this one, I'm seeing around 245. That tracks. In warmer temperatures, I've found that Volvo EVs come very close to their EPA-rated ranges. Research shows that around 85% of all charging is done at home. And if you've watched my EV reviews before, you've heard this advice. For the best electric vehicle experience, you need the ability to charge where you sleep, even if it's just 120-volt level 1. As much as I like electrification, pure EVs aren't for everyone. In some cases, a plug-in hybrid is better. Volvo would be happy to sell you one of those. The single-motor C40 can juice up faster. Its max charge rate is 200 kilowatts. The dual-motor stops at 150. But here's the deal. In the real world, it may not make much of a difference. For example, all of the terminals here are 150 kilowatts. They're very popular, and the two cars would charge up at the same rate. And at home, it doesn't make any difference at all. 200 kilowatts is a solid rate, but not as speedy as Hyundai, Kia, Genesis, and Porsche, to name a few. But again, if the terminal only delivers at 150, the point is moot. Road trip often? Before buying an EV, check the routes most commonly traveled to see what the infrastructure is like. And a reminder that Tesla is slowly opening its supercharger network to other EV brands, and Volvo is adapting the NACS standard. A recap on the cabin space. I like it. Good quality materials, clean Scandinavian design, supportive seats with all-day comfort. Like Tesla, there's a large center console that bisects the driver and passenger areas. Other EVs open the floor up for purse or backpack storage. A smaller bag will hang here. Nice. Visibility rearward isn't great, but the glass roof keeps the cockpit bright and cheerful. And the HVAC system is a heat pump, more efficient. Volvo's interface screen is a good size, not too big or small, and the response is, well, responsive. The display is set lower, which takes eyes off the road, and there can be many pages to wade through to get some functions. Plus, the font is small. Other than the expected controls here, there are few hard buttons on the dash. Audio controls and defrosters are pretty much it. At least there are turn signal stocks. The Android Automotive system has solid voice commands, and there's a 4-year complimentary data plan. If you don't want to pay another subscription fee once that's over, the fallback is wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. As I demonstrated in my dual motor video, the fully lined door pockets are big enough to swallow and cushion a 16-inch MacBook Pro. The three-dimensional topographical abstract of Abisko National Park in Sweden is backlit, a crowd pleaser. Compared to XC40, C40's sloping roofline cuts into headroom some. Those under 6 feet tall should have enough, though. Knee, leg, and foot room are good for a smaller vehicle. Adjustable vents, but no separate climate zone. Ultimate gets heated seats in back. Phones can be charged. Stuff can be stowed. C40 has a fairly significant spine. Stop at 2 average-sized adults, and comfort is guaranteed. 3 will be kind of tight. I'm using footage from the dual motor video that I produced. The cargo holds are the same. At 15 cubic feet, the C40 loses a cube to the XC40 Recharge. The load floor doubles as a divider to keep groceries from sliding around. Pop-up bag hooks, too. No spare tire, though. Only a repair kit. The ski pass-through is good. Roads are usually plowed. Do you need all-wheel drive? An easy reach in to drop the backs results in a completely flat load area. C40 doesn't have the folding front passenger chair Volvo used to offer. This is 49 cubic feet, around 7 less than the XC40. My standardized measurement metric might be weird to some, but it's a great visual. The packs are about the same size as carry-on suitcases. The traditional roofline of the XC40 swallows 6 packs of the 2-ply. So does the C40. Functionally, the 2 cargo areas work the same, even though this one has a sloping roofline. Time to wrap this up with red light, green lights. Green lights. The single-motor C40 and XC40 get more range for those with anxiety. Volvo has talented designers. The fastback C40 looks great. The Scandinavian cabin vibe is not found in competing brands. Creative storage spaces make the most out of the interior. Yellow lights. The 200 kilowatt DC fast charge rate is quicker now. Keep in mind, the all-wheel drive version is 50 kilowatts pokier. It corners well. I'd like more road feel and less skittering on broken pavement. Acceleration is spunky enough for many. Buy the dual motor for more performance and grip. Red light. The CMA architecture intrudes some on cabin space. C40 can feel kind of cozy. The user interface is fine, but at this price it should come with a few more hard buttons and less pages to wade through. Chances are you'll be paying more for C40 than other EVs. It seems like there are more and more incentives these days as automakers catch up with demand and competition pours into the EV marketplace. So, check in with your Volvo dealer to see if there's money on the hood to make this more affordable. There are some real advantages to going with the single-motor C40. It's less expensive, it juices up faster, and goes farther on a charge. So if you road trip often and you really want a Volvo EV, this would be the one to buy. Obviously, you're giving up some velocity and the sure-footedness of all-wheel drive, but buy the vehicle that works for you. The single-motor version's less is more approach will work for some buyers, not for others. Size up your needs. Not everyone needs the same thing. It'll be interesting to see what the rear-drive, all-wheel drive sales mix will be, or if the new affordable EX30 will steal buyers away. The C40 Recharge is a balanced EV with Swedish appeal and competition on its bumper. I'll note that Ryan Douthit with Driving Sports TV took this very Volvo on his off-road course. If you want to see how that goes, spoiler alert, if you're tackling tough stuff, best to go with all-wheel drive. One appealing part of owning an electric vehicle is free fuel. Occasionally. 2 grocery stores in my neighborhood offer it, a movie theater too. The lovely and charming and I took a mini vacation for Valentine's Day, and the hotel that we stayed at offered complimentary electricity. Kind of takes the sting out of paying for parking. I was not the only one charging at no cost. It's level 2, not DC fast charging, but I grabbed an extra 120 miles in an evening session. With gas around $4.50 a gallon in Seattle, that effectively paid for the parking. If you look closely, Martin Campbell is not driving this week. It's my wife, Mariko. But I'll thank Martin anyways. He's a great guy. Hope you got something out of this quick look at the 2024 Volvo C40 Recharge single motor. Again, I'll point you towards the full review that I did with the all-wheel drive model. It has a lot more detail, but it's pretty much the same. This will work for a lot of people. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Personally, I want the dual motor all-wheel drive version because it's often wet and slick around here. I finally got a good day. Folks that live in Arizona or New Mexico, where it's always like this, you may not need all-wheel drive. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and click notifications. Follow me on social media, and if you have a question, leave it in the comments. And if you want to support this channel, well, I support that. You can do it using YouTube Super Thanks and Venmo. I appreciate it. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.